What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the What the Fun Show. My name is Mike, and today we are reviewing and starting our brand new series of reviewing the Harry Potter movies. And I'm going to go to the biggest Harry Potter nerd himself, and that is Joe is here. Joe's here today. Oh,
nice try, Justin. But you know it's not true. You can't take it. You can't have it. I am the Harry Potter nerd. I have a problem. I'm obsessed. And that's as much as I'll say about it.
All right, cool. Justin is here as well. Probably a formidable Harry Potter fan, but not on the level of Joe.
Yeah, no, definitely not at the level of Joe himself. But I am a fan, nonetheless. And both movies and books. Really much. A lot.
Okay, then. Well, yeah, I'm just a decent Harry Potter fan. So anyway, listeners, thanks so much for joining us here today. Like I said, we are starting a series, one per month. We're going to be reviewing the Harry Potter movies, including the Fantastic Beasts movies and their sequels. So stay tuned for all the fun, magical nonsense. And so if you're watching us on YouTube, please hit that subscribe button. We would really appreciate it. Comment down below what you think of Harry Potter and the Sorcerers / Philosopher's Stone, whichever one you want to say. And if you're on a podcatcher of choice, please leave us a review. Apple Podcasts is the best way to do it. If you're on Spotify, go to that mobile app and you can leave a star rating there. A little bit of housekeeping for you. We do have a Tucker and Dale versus Evil review out as part of our favorite movie series. That's one of Joe's picks. And so take a look at that. And just a heads up, we got a special guest for our favorite movie series coming up here in February. And as always, our video game debate show has a latest episode, Test Your Might, back in your ears with special guest Cam Hawkins. So go check that out as well. All right. Harry Potter and the Sorcerer Philosopher's Stone, one of those, directed by Chris Columbus, screenplay by Steve Kloves. Joe, I don't know if you knew this, but it was based on Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone by J.K. Rowling.
Get out of here. What?
Yeah.
I thought it was just a coincidence.
No.
They were very similar, but not the same.
Justin, Daniel Radcliffe is Harry Potter.
Guy. He is he is the lead of oh wait, isn't this called Harry Potter? Whoa, he plays Harry Potter. Yeah, he's the lead. He's the lead. Yeah, one of those guys.
Rupert Grint as is it Grint?
Yes.
Grint
as
Ronald Weasley, Emma Watson as Hermione Granger, John Cleese, Robbie Coltrane, Warwick Davis, Richard Griffiths, Richard Harris, Ian Hart, all those, and Alan Rickman. Maggie Smith is also in there. Bunch of awesome stuff. Music by John Williams. Good old John Williams, one of the best to ever do.
His first thing, right? One of the first things he ever did. It was like a huge hit.
This was his coming out, so November 4th was its release date in 2001, or sorry, the 16th in the United States. Runtime is 152 minutes and budget of $125 million, and it is a billionaire in the box office, 1.017 billion. Justin, Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. What do you got as your spoiler-free review here?
If you like magic, you like witchcraft, you like all the things that come out of a sorting hat, you'll like this movie.
Okay.
All right.
That was very Joe-esque.
Yeah, I'm on board with this.
Okay. All right. We have two patent pending Joe Kelly reviews today.
I feel like
Joe,
I have to change it up. Let's see.
One like I usually do. Yeah.
If you're interested in an epic adventure film where friends find out and put the fate of the world in their hands, you're going to have to join on as we travel through this epic film with a beautiful score done by an amazing composer that almost can't be beat, as these three, bit of a spoiler there, friends join up, battle good and evil because sometimes the hardest thing to do is stand up to your friends, and take on the big bad of He Who Must Not Be Named. And obviously, I'm not going to name him because that would be a spoiler.
Whoa.
Broomsticks.
Yeah, there's broomsticks, keys, the things.
There is.
Yeah. So yeah, this movie, it's fun. It's exciting. I think that as you look upon the series and you understand where it goes, I think the casting was really, really good. I think probably the most poignant casting was Alan Rickman's Snape. I think that casting was just so on point, perfect. And yeah, this movie it has a lot of good vibes to it. Just like sort of that ragtag group of kids who are becoming friends, and they go on adventures. That's really what it is, with a magical twist, which is really cool. Yeah, awesome movie. It's really fun, and I think it will be a good discussion to have. So, before we get to our spoiler section, I want to have a little debate. John Williams, is this his best score?
Well, Justin was shaking his head earlier, so Justin, what do you think?
He made the Star Wars main title. He made Jaws theme. Those were movies I grew up with way before this even came into the picture. Also did Close Encounters of the Third Kind. Like, he is notoriously well known for making good movies.
I mean,
I would say Star Wars
sense.
or Jaws were up there.
Really, not even Indiana Jones with your fandom of the Jones.
Honestly, no. I think Star Wars is higher than Indy, and Jaws is up there as well. Indy's okay, but Star Wars is so iconic that soundtrack is just, you know what it is without even watching anything.
I agree. I think that between all of his compositions, Star Wars might be the top one, but Harry Potter would be a close second. While there are more iconic pieces that he did, obviously in Jaws, in Jurassic Park, in Close Encounters,
Even
we have
Star
some
Wars.
well, Star Wars I mentioned is like the top one. So just for more iconic than Harry Potter, I think those ones definitely like foot the bill. But for importance to the film, Harry Potter's got to be at least close to the level of Star Wars, if not right there with it, for me.
I think this is his best score of all time. I really enjoy Star Wars. Obviously, I love all of John Williams' stuff. I listen to it all the time. But I love sort of the orchestral, melodic sort of vibe that you get from the Harry Potter franchise, and I just really think that this particular score, the Harry Potter series with John Williams, it's my favorite of his. I think there's a lot. I think Star Wars is probably a close second. I mean, you talk about the opening crawl, you talk about even the Vader theme,
The Imperial March.
But this, yeah, the Imperial March. This just has a more warming sensation to it, and I love the melody to it. So I don't know. Let us know, listeners, what John Williams score you think is the best. So let's get into spoiler territory. If you've not seen Sorcerer's Stone or Philosopher's Stone, please pause. Consider this your official spoiler warning. Hey, you.
What's that? What the?
What are you doing?
Who, me?
Do you want to be spoiled? No? Well then,
Stop it. Get some help.
so you don't feel like this guy. Instead, let it be a surprise.
Oh, I like surprises.
So go watch the thing before you move on in the podcast, okay?
Alrighty then.
All right, listeners, that was your official spoiler warning. So, we're just gonna go into favorite moments from this movie, and then we'll go into the overall plot. We'll start with Joe. Joe, what are some of your favorite moments in this movie?
Can I cheat and just say I like the whole thing? or
No.
do I gotta pick some? Okay, cool.
Yeah, you gotta pick some.
I love the beginning, the intro with Hagrid flying in on the bike. I think that was great. I think it was fun. You get the first look of the characters that, for me, like I read the books way beforehand. So like I got the first look into 3 of the most important characters in the whole story plot right away, and like they sold it. Like I knew from that first bit, okay, I know what I'm getting into. I think that they've done a good job here. And Robbie Coltrane, Richard Harrison, Dame Maggie Smith knocked out the park. That's Hagrid, Dumbledore, and McGonagall.
Yeah, the late Robbie Coltrane. Like how perfect of a casting is that again? Like just
I think it would rival Snape. Alan Rickman's Snape.
Perfect stuff. Around the horn, let's go. Justin, favorite moment.
I didn't have any. I don't like this movie at all. No, I believe that one of my favorite moments is probably the shopping. Not to sound crazy, but the shopping at Diagon Alley with Harry Potter, getting all his school supplies, getting his wand, all these moments all combined kind of like are his build up to actually accepting the fact he is. And also, my next probably favorite moment is fluffy interactions. Probably the fluffy interactions. Spoiler wise, those are pretty good interactions with.
We are in spoiler territory. Who is Fluffy?
Fluffy is the dog. Cerberus, like dog. Giant 3-headed dog.
3-headed dog.
Yeah. Excellent CG for the time.
Yeah, I would agree.
And enjoyed it. It was some good tense moments, which we get a lot more of in the next movie. But this one had.
Yeah, I think, speaking of some of those tense moments, I think one of my favorites is the living chess board game. At the getting closer to the end of the movie, sort of this like trial and test because. We're just going to blow it. We're just going to blow it up. The Sorcerer's Stone is being protected and somebody is trying to steal it. And so there are many different trials in front of the Sorcerer's Stone to stop the person, who's going to try to steal it. It was very well protected. And it certainly started with Fluffy, as Justin said. But I love the scene with the wizard's chest. Now, listeners, Wizard's Chest is very, 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 very intense, gruesome. The the pieces attack each other like literally and break each other, and so you sort of get this moment of this is the section, this is the part, and Joe, Justin, maybe you'll disagree with me, maybe you'll agree. This is where they solidify their friendship. Like they are friends at this moment through and through, no matter what. These next 7 years at Hogwarts, this chess game put them together, and it was their one last moment where they needed that push.
I really want to disagree. So specifically, that's described in the point where they take on the mountain troll.
I was gonna say the troll fight is pretty intense.
And I'm saying specifically just on the book, it literally says after encountering a thing like that, you can't help but be friends. So for me, there wasn't gonna be another moment where that was gonna happen. Like after the troll thing, in my head, it was already there. Was it. That was the moment.
But the movie doesn't play it that way. The movie really doesn't play it that way. There's still like Ron is still a little bit hesitant about Hermione. Like throughout the whole movie, she's like, I mean, one of my favorite lines was Ron after she petrifies, Neville, right? Neville Longbottom is trying to stop them from sneaking out and costing Gryffindor more points, and Ron's like, that's crazy, like brilliant, but crazy, that sort of thing. Like,
yeah, he realizes that she's a formidable foe, and if he had to face off against her, he was gonna lose.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. Joe. Some other favorite moments.
Me, I love the train scenes. I think it was great. I love the meeting of Harry and Ron, him running into the Weasley family on platform 9 3/4, or actually in King's Cross, and then them showing him how to get onto platform 9 3/4. The interaction between Harry and Ron right in the beginning, and it's the first time that we get to see them on screen together. You can tell that there's a real friendship behind that, which I thought was really cool. It didn't seem disingenuous when you see them interacting together, and Ron's like sitting there across from him in the train car going, is it true? Like, are you who you say, do you have the scar? Like, and then he's so excited because it's finally his turn to differentiate himself from the rest of his family, right? He's the last boy. He's the lowest on the totem pole of importance to his family, and that's how he views himself. And finally he gets this little bit of something special, and it's just as important for Harry, and it comes through. Obviously, I'm not a nerd. I don't like these books or the story at all. It's terrible is what I'm actually saying.
Justin, another favorite.
What's the mirror called, Joe?
The Mirror of Erised.
This mirror, magic mirror, shows a
That's
person
not
who
on a wall, by the way.
shows a person who walks up to it what they want most. And when Harry walks up, he sees his parents, and that was a very emotional moment. Not pride or glory or what Ron sees as seeing himself as like the cup leader in the Quidditch game and getting cheers from everyone. He saw his parents, and that was a very modest and symbolic thing for Harry to see anything else. So it was a good emotion moment. I loved it for sure.
Yeah. I think all those moments where he's, discovering more and more about his parents, before going to Hogwarts, he never knew that his dad was the Quidditch captain or Quidditch seeker rather. And before going to Hogwarts, he never knew that his invisibility cloak was left to him by his dad and his mom, all those sorts of things. And just, I think going off of that, Justin, I think one of my favorite things about this movie is just Hagrid's fatherly love for Harry. Like I love that. Just I'm a huge proponent of like sort of the adoption thing, right? Where like here's a kid who has no parents. He's living underneath stairs at his aunt and uncle's house, and they are the world's worst guardians, just abysmal. But you get this like Hagrid, this like big half giant looking dude. And he is sort of that fatherly figure to Harry, and obviously you sort of get that a little bit with Dumbledore as well, just like sort of the fatherly nature that these two have over Harry, and it truly shows that like the Harry is very important. Obviously, his name is on the title, right? But it just also shows that like he's also a kid. And he also needs those role models and those examples in his life to be able to do these battles, to be able to go on these adventures, and also to be able to grow up and be the man that he needs to be going into the other movies that we'll talk about. So yeah,
yes,
I love that.
They act as a very integral support system to who Harry is, right? Everyone. It's not just like Hagrid. I love Hagrid for that fact. He's like that fatherly, grandfatherly, like just unconditional love character. No matter what, Hagrid has only unconditional love.
Yeah.
With Dumbledore, you have a little bit more of the actual parenting. The sternness comes through a bit. Hey, I'm going to hold you accountable for your actions. With his friends, they build him up and also humble him at times. I again hate this movie. Terrible books. I cannot speak highly enough of like how well they built these things. I'm not gonna say there isn't like faults and problems. There's some bits of the story that don't hold up.
Yeah.
But I think they did so well in the characters here, and then the actors who they got to play them. Right, Daniel Radcliffe absolutely kills it as Harry Potter. Rupert Grint is Ron. Emma Watson is Hermione. Like, they got these characters cast perfectly for these roles. I was blown away at a young age by like what I saw, and rewatching as an adult, while it doesn't hold the same nostalgia for me, like it still sells exactly what the characters sell it perfectly every
Yeah.
time.
Justin, anything to add to that?
You know, being a fan of like some aspects of this story and some aspects of the books, it's pretty tough to narrow down all of the good things that I like about it.
Okay. Fair enough. Let's get into the overall plot. So, the Sorcerer's Stone. It is a stone. Well, Joe, whatever. You explain what the stone is.
Rock.
The Philosopher's Stone. It's the stone. It's a Midas stone. It's the one that you can turn anything to gold by touching it. You can drink it, have everlasting life, as long as you keep making elixir from it. It's a very important thing. It's supposedly a real thing, right? That was made long ago and nobody knows how to make it. But that's what it is. It's and then so in this story specifically, it's made by someone that Dumbledore knows, and
Nicholas Flamel.
Nicholas Flamel, yep. And Voldemort, spoiler, but we're here. Voldemort has no real body. He's just got this weird formless kind of what that'd be, a specter form, and he wants to return to power. So he's trying to find any way where he can come back, and this is a stepping stone to that. If he can get a hold of this stone, you like that? He can be one step closer to coming back to full power. So Dumbledore hasn't moved from a safe in Gringotts to the school, and then ensues all of the adventure and fun that we get.
So Justin, you know, these kids are trying to plot out, and they like this is probably my one gripe with the movie is that, and it is, if I remember correctly, it's a little bit still in the book as well. But man, do these kids just jump to the biggest conclusions surrounding the Sorcerer's Stone? Like, oh, Snape's gonna steal it. Oh, you know, this, that, and like it's wild to me that these kids have these grand sort of thoughts on what is actually happening. They do end up getting to what actually happened, but they were completely wrong the whole time. Justin.
Yeah, I understand that, you know, coming from a kid's perspective. These kids are 11, right? They're young.
Yeah.
They're going to jump to conclusions, smallest aspects. Oh, Snape has a cut on his leg. It was from Fluffy. No, Fluffy would have killed, Fluffy would have killed him, but it's just a scratch for Snape. But like these things are major, huge story points that the kids are trying to solve as 11-year-olds, which they end up doing. So
yeah,
you know, from an 11-year-old perspective, they're probably a lot less of the drama or over drama. What's it called? The big ideas that they have in their head.
Yeah.
These are probably lower on the pole than what it could have been as a natural 11.
I think that's fair. I think it's accurate, right? I almost have an 11-year-old. I could totally see how they could jump to conclusions like that.
Yeah.
Right.
It's just,
I mean,
yeah. It's just the Inside Baseball. I'm currently reading the sixth book. And you know, in the sixth book, like Harry Harry is obviously older, and he still jumps to these conclusions. Like he's still like just thinking big time. And obviously, I think that as you get later on in the series, it's a little bit more grounded in actuality. His rumblings and his thinkings, but here it's just really funny. It's just funny to me that these kids are just like, they just jump to the worst possible conclusion. And it works out in the end, but it's just ultimately just a funny, like, sort of comedic thing to just think about.
Oh yeah, because as they go through, they're like, oh, Snape did it, I'm gonna set him on fire. Right? During the Quidditch scene. They think Snape's the one cursing Harry's broomstick. They can't even look at anything else happening because they already have their target. So how they looked right above him and seeing Quirrell actually doing it. But no, the goal is Snape. Snape is the bad guy. Got it. He's an easy person to dislike because he already dislikes Harry and he's shown it. So why not just light him on fire and that'll fix it? And
fire.
It did.
We didn't even talk about Quidditch, and that's the best CG in the movie, Joe, right? You agree?
Nope.
The flying broomsticks is like your favorite part.
Can't agree with that.
Quidditch is awesome.
Refuse to agree with it.
I enjoyed it. Quidditch was one of my favorite moments. I know we're past that, but when he caught that snitch and he put it in his mouth on the fall, come on.
No,
he's gonna be
sick. It's all good
and
stuff. Yeah, and again, even that Quidditch scene though, Justin, you're right. Like it just shows. I'm just gonna flat out say it. Harry Potter ain't nothing without Hermione Granger. Like just flat out, like he is. I mean, yeah, he's the boy who lived, right? But Hermione Granger, man, like she is the crux of that group for several movies.
She's very important. I don't know about crux.
I wouldn't say that she is.
You think Ron's the crux?
No, I think Harry is.
I think Ron was dealt a very dirty hand by the movies. I think that Hermione, I think in the movie specifically, their roles are twisted so much from the books that it definitely looks that way. But like Ron is the goofy guy who just tags along. Hermione is the smart kid who figures everything out. And Harry's the one who actually does the thing.
Yeah.
And I think in the book, that's not the case. In the book, each one has their characteristics and their character flaws that make them like useless in certain situations. And Hermione has those. Hermione definitely has those situations where she is no good at all. And without Ron to help pull her through and Harry to do the things, like, it's much more balanced. Whereas in the movie, it feels very much like, okay, so Hermione could do all of this, and the other two are just kind of there.
Well, I mean, but still, though, like to your point, I still think my point is very valid. Like Hermione, like they're not. Harry is not getting to the Sorcerer's Stone without Hermione. It would have been impossible, right? But to your point, though, there, Joe, is that that's why I love the chess scene so much. It's like why it's one of my favorite moments is because Ron is the level-headed person there. He's like, no, this is something that Harry needs to do. And so if I need to sacrifice myself here for the Sorcerer's Stone not to bring back Voldemort, like that's just what this group is going to be. And like, that's why I love that scene so much, because they really, really bring the camaraderie into that, and it works. So, but yes,
twofold. I say twofold because chess is an unbelievably complicated game. And for people who are good at it, which they stress that Ron is a great chess player. So that means that he is really good at forward thinking about not just the next move, but thinking 5 or 10 moves ahead and what it could look like. So he's really good at forward thinking, whereas Hermione's really good at thinking in the moment, and Harry's really good at acting in the moment.
So Justin, we get to the final scene here. Take us into it. Harry sees the mirror, and Professor Quirrell is there. Professor Quirrell this whole time has been wearing this sort of head covering. And what happens?
Well, Harry looks into the mirror, and this time he sees himself pulling the stone out of his pocket, which states that it's in his pocket, magically, right? Because this movie's about magic. It is in his pocket. Coral, his headdress or turban comes off and reveals the back of his head, being the face of he who must not be named, Voldemort, being on the back of his head, Two-Face, but at 100. Which, like, in our heads, if you are an adult and you understand movies,
scary face,
and you go back to the original scene when they were getting sorted, and Quirrell was facing away, and he was talking to Snape, and Harry's lightning bolt started hurting because Voldemort was secretly looking at Harry Potter, and all these little tiny things that the director knew what he was doing threw in to show that he's been there all along. It's been there all along, and we had wrong speculations about Snape and wrong speculations about other characters, in that they were wrong when Quirrell the whole time, the stuttering defense against the dark arts teacher, was secretly holding on to Voldemort the whole time. So lots of fire ensues, lots of fighting.
Yeah.
It's an awesome climax to the film, for sure, for the first of the films.
Yeah.
It definitely ramps up in the future.
And then Joe, Harry has this special power against the Quirrell, who is holding Voldemort.
Yeah, kind of. He it was a charm, right? When his mother sacrificed herself to save Harry, she imbued him with a magic love that just beats out other magic, dark magic. And because he was imbued with this charm as she died, Voldemort cannot touch him. He is protected by his mother's love in his blood. So he literally cannot bear to put hands on him. And if he does, it burns him. And I thought this was great. I thought they did a phenomenal job with the CG with this part of the movie, because Quirrell grabs Harry and realizes that touching him is like touching a white hot flame. Immediately lets him go. I can't touch him. Voldemort says, get him.
Yeah.
And Harry, realizing that Quirrell can't touch him, or Voldemort can't touch him, however you want to say it, does the only thing he can think of in the moment, and he grabs his face. He's like, cool.
Yeah.
I'm just going to grab your face. Darn the consequences. He has no idea what it will do to him, but he knows the only way to keep Voldemort from getting the stone is I'm just going to grab his face and burn him.
Yep. And it works.
Whatever. Yeah, whatever. If it hurts me, it doesn't matter.
Works.
It works, but it's also killing him. But he just doesn't know that. So we get
we don't know that for a very long time.
Of him holding Quirrell's face, slowly watching him like dust and break away, and then Harry blacks out.
Yeah.
Right. We don't know what happens. It fades out, does this cool little blur fadey thing, and we get darkness and then hospital wing.
Yeah, and then that's pretty much the end of the movie. So Dumbledore sort of explains what happens to Harry, like why it happened. So he does explain that love trumps all, that sort of thing that he got from his mom, and
Billy.
also explains what happened to the Sorcerer's Stone. I believe it was destroyed, and Nicholas Flamel has enough life elixir for him to live a little bit longer, right?
To sort all his affairs.
Yeah. So I mean that's really the end of the story. It's not the end of the journey though, right? Like, we're gonna have more here. Hagrid, again, he has one of those fatherly sort of interactions with Harry Potter as well. At the back end of the movie, tells him to put pig ears on Dudley. If he's bothering him again, his mean old little cousin or older cousin, whatever. Regardless,
older by a few months,
Yeah, regardless, Harry unfortunately has to spend a little bit more time with the Dursleys, and then we will get to the next movie, Chamber of Secrets. Justin, please hit us with some trivia from Sorcerer's Stone.
Of course, I've got a couple here. Richard Harris had trouble remembering his lines, and Daniel Radcliffe would ask him to help with running his lines just to give Harris more practice, even if Daniel knew his lines.
That's awesome.
Yeah, friendly gestures.
That's very kind of him.
Yeah. During the Harry Potter movies, Daniel Radcliffe went through 160 pairs of glasses.
What?
Yeah.
That's a lot of glasses.
So
Yeah.
that's like all the movies, though.
That's all
combined,
the
right?
movies. Yeah,
Oh,
160.
okay, then.
The tabby cat that was used in the movie ran away during filming. This is Filch's cat. And came back 2 days later by itself.
That makes sense. You probably just left some food out for
Yeah,
it.
he had a casting call, you know. Had to
A casting
had to
call?
come back. Oh, I didn't say that, but that's better.
All right.
Casting call.
This one will ruffle some feathers. This movie cost more money to make than The Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring, 2001, and made more money at the box office that year.
I mean, that's
Yeah.
okay. I don't think it's a better movie by any means.
Oh, it's definitely not better than Fellowship of the Ring, but I mean, this had more cultural relevance at the time. It was made more for kids as well, so yeah, it totally makes sense that it made more money. Both of them were December movies too, as well. So yeah, very very interesting. But
One
yeah,
last fun fact.
Yeah, sure.
The Mirror of Erised. Do you know the inscription on it?
No.
It is Erised stra eru oit ube kafru oit un wosi.
What does that mean?
And backwards, it says, I show not your face, but your heart's desire. Which is why it's the
Because it's mirrored.
whole ability is exactly. It's a reverse of it, and it says it around the frame. But yeah, it literally says what it does on the mirror in a description. I thought that was really funny.
Oh,
Like an
okay
ambulance.
then.
Yeah, we'll get
But
to
not for
another one
me.
of those fun facts when we get to the phone booth.
Okay. All right. Joe's
look
gonna hit
ahead.
us up with a bunch of facts this whole time. So, all right. Let's get
try to
into
hold
our ratings. 1 through 5. Justin, we'll go your way first. Sorcerer's Stone. Where does it sit?
God. This is going to be difficult. I was not expecting it to be this difficult, but to rank it against the other films, all of films, beginning of the story, it a solid 4. I think a 4 is
Solid
valid.
4.
Yeah, I think a 4
Okay.
is valid for the first
4
one.
for great. Okay. I hear you. Joe, ratings.
I will second with a 4. I think it's the perfect jumping off point for this film saga series. I don't know what it is when it's 8 films, but 4.
I'm saying there will be some 5s in here. I'm not saying there's not going to be any 5s fans. 4 plus.
I'm gonna go with 3, as in good. I think this is a good jumping off point. If I'm utilizing, or if I'm using this to compare it to the rest of the series and what I remember of the rest of the series, yeah, there are just way better movies within the series, but this is still a good jumping off point. So I'm going with a 3. Yeah, still a fun, good, solid movie. Now, listeners, we are also going to be ranking our Harry Potter movies individually as well. So currently, the standings are Sorcerer's Stone, Philosopher's Stone at number 1 for all of us. So this is all of our favorite Harry Potter movies as of this point. And so join us next month as we discuss Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets to see where that ranks on our list, either 1 or 2. We shall see. Again, this has been a review of Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. Please follow us on Twitter at WhatTheFunPod and connect with us there. And as always, leave us a review. Apple Podcasts is the best place, Spotify on mobile only. If you're watching us on YouTube, please hit the subscribe and the like button. And let us know down in the comments section what you thought of the first movie in the Harry Potter franchise. Thank you so much for joining us again. My name is Mike. That's Joe. That's Justin. We will see you guys later. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.